right? It still has that effect on me so many months later. Please join me in welcoming to the stage casting director SHAHEEN BAIG. Joining us remotely because they're very busy are co-creators Jack Thorne and Stephen Graham. And I believe, and I think she's dealing with some Wi-Fi issues, but actor Erin Doherty is also remotely here. Whenever she gets here, we're going to give her a warm welcome. These are the realities of the technological age. Thank you guys so much for making the time. I want to start at the beginning. Let's start with the creators. Jack and Stephen, why did you believe that this particular premise, this particular story would be well served by that one-shot format?
Stephen, you've got to talk first.
First of all,
hold on, we got some audio issues. Let me try it again, Stephen. And if it doesn't work, maybe we'll have Jack go first, and then. All right, we're gonna have Jack go first. Jack field out first. Sorry, Stephen.
Stephen is much more eloquent than me, so this is a hard button to be passed. But just to say, yeah, no, it started with Stephen saying, I want to talk about this issue. I think this issue really matters, and I think we need to understand particularly why in our country, and we're talking specifically about Britain in this instance, why we are seeing boys attack girls. Why we are seeing teenage boys attack teenage girls, and it was something we were seeing rise, in particular the knife crime. Knife crime is the big issue in our country, and we were asking ourselves why this might be the case, and that started an investigation for us, and the show is the result of that investigation.
Not sure if it's true.
Wow, we're really experiencing the realities of tech. Okay, Stephen, let's see if your audio is working again. Disconnect your Bluetooth? That's what the audience is telling us. You're trying to... Take out your earbud. Using the earbuds? I don't think he's using earbuds. Okay. He is. Oh. Do you think you can do it without your earbuds? Thank you for the crowdsourcing, guys.
Let me double check audio settings.
God.
Can hear you then. Can you hear me now? Have you got me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, sorry. There's a slight delay. First of all, thank you. Hello, Owen. You all right, lad?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm sorry, kid. Hello, Shaheen. You all right, love? Hello. And Jack, you're always wonderful. Hello. And hello, everybody who's just watched it. Who's there? Just to pick up that baton, what Jack said, yeah, you know, he raised all those issues, and I did think it was something, a story that maybe we could tell. And also, I just knew within that one-shot format, it was something where we could really grab the audience and engross them. And we said at the very beginning, you know, myself, Jack, Phil, Hannah as well, it was really part of that beginning process, that we wanted to try and maybe grab our audience at the very beginning and get a family to watch it together, where you haven't got teenagers like my teenagers or Owen, who will sit there watching something with the phone in their hand, you know what I mean? It was a case of put that phone down and let's watch this together as a collective. So that was what that was where we came at it from, and we also knew that we had that proof of concept with Boiling Point, that little indie that we did, which had that nice kind of same energy to it, you know what I mean? So that was kind of where it came about. Just knew it would be exciting, and I'm slightly obsessed with a program called 24 Hours in Police Custody at home, which is great. So I made Jack watch a lot of that, and it's just that kind of grabbing us straight away and taking us on a journey. That was what we wanted to do. And what was wonderful as well is myself and Jack had a really great conversation at the very beginning, and Jack came up with this wonderful idea, and he could see that the audience would learn as Eddie and the family learned what their son had done. So that was one of the key elements that we had to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. That the storytelling is it's so immediate, it's so immersive, and I think this is one of those cases, especially looking at all the craftsmanship that goes into the show, that technology really served the art. You know, it wasn't just, you know, cool filmmaking tricks for the sake of showing off technique. It really served the narrative. Shaheen, I'm not even going to pretend that finding Jamie Cooper wasn't, you know, the most critical casting challenge.
Jamie.
I know, I was saying the character, finding the character.
Jamie Miller, not
looking for. Oh, Jamie Miller. Thank you so much. You're right. That's how much you blended into the role. So finding Jamie Miller wasn't the most critical, you know, casting challenge for the show to work. You know, as an experienced professional, I want to know what goes through your mind when you get that character breakdown. You know, what are you flagging in terms of like, okay, these are the key points I've got to hit. These might be potentially very difficult to find.
I think that initially there's so many things to consider. It's the age of the character and also the material and the subject matter. So it was like, okay, how can we tackle this in the correct way, in the responsible way, and find somebody that feels really authentic for the story, but also be responsible with that as well. So we talked a lot about age at the beginning, and we did look between sort of 13 and 17, 18 when we started the search. And then I think it became clear quite quickly that actually we had to try and stay as true and close to the age as possible. But age was very much a part of the discussion at the beginning.
And I think that's what makes it tricky as well, because this isn't just, I mean, I think in general, this narrative, this character, the story is difficult, but knowing that you have to find a young actor who has the stamina to do something from front to back, you're essentially putting on a play. You know, there's no cuts, you know, try that little piece again. Owen, I think, correct me if I'm, were you 13 when you auditioned?
No, I was 14 when
Okay, you were just 14 when you auditioned. What do you remember? I know it was like a couple of years ago now. What do you remember about like your understanding of that material, like of the story, the darkness, and also just in general, what was the casting process like for you? How many times did you have to audition? How many tapes? That sort of thing.
Well, the problem that happens in the show, like the knife crime, where I'm from, near Manchester, it's happening all the time. Like once every. I'm not gonna go into statistics here, but it's happening a lot, like too much. But yeah, that's I've known about it since I was about 9. That it was happening, maybe even younger. But yeah, it's just like the mates around me. I've got good mates around me, but when I was younger, I didn't. I used to hang around with the wrong people. Obviously, I didn't get into any problems like that, but the people that I was hanging around with had like whatever. But it was, and then the show came like to me when I was in this agency called Drama Mob that was going to like drama group, drama lessons once a week, and I started that when I was like 11, 12, 4 years ago. And then I was doing it for 2 years, and then this show came around. I knew it was 4 episodes, didn't know anything about it. And then I only knew Phil was the director, that was about it. And then I sent the self-tape off, and then about a month later after I sent the self-tape, I got a recall in Manchester with Phil, the director. And I just got on with Phil like really well. Just clicked with him straight away, and then it got running. It went pretty fast, but like too long at the same time. Like the suspense was just killing me, whether I got the part or not. And then I had about 4 or 5 auditions. I had the last audition I did before I got the part was with Stephen. It was like a chemistry test thing, and then yeah, I just got on with Stephen really well. Support the same footy team, got on well. So yeah, and then we started episode 3 about a month later after I got the part, and then so I had the time to learn the script, and then yeah, we just started filming from there.
Yeah, and I can see, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to not delay this process, but I think if you're literally working with a star who's an adolescent, you gotta, you know, he's changing. you gotta go fast. Shaheen, but also Jack and Stephen, feel free to jump in. You know, what made, I know that you saw a lot of, you know, young men who, you know, were contenders, you know, who came close, but what